I'm John DeGasperis with the law firm of Basch Keegan in Uptown Kingston, and we're glad to be sponsoring the Shamrock Run for another year. But we're fortunate to have Bob Ryan from Ryan and Ryan Insurance with us. Bob's been a sponsor of the Shamrock Run, you told me before, from day one.
Day one.
And how long ago was that?
32 years ago.
Oh my gosh, 32 years. How many runners when you started this whole thing?
293 runners the first year in it.
And how many runners have you had in the past few years?
The largest year to my knowledge was about 4,700. When it started out, it was actually the Shamrock was actually the brainchild of Jim Kelly Smith.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember.
Right, Jim. He ran from Florida to New York.
Yes, he
right?
did.
Yeah,
yes, he did.
I remember him.
So myself and Jim and another Bobby Nans lived together at the time, and it was Jim Kelly's idea, and the three of us started it, and a bunch of guys hopped on and helped us pull it off, and it just grew and grew. Really, the volunteers are who make it happen.
Right.
The race day volunteers, and there's people all year long who are doing things. One of the great things I like about it is every year they choose a different local charity that gets some of the funds from the proceeds of the event. So,
okay. So are you a runner even on non-race day?
I am. I've been running since I got cut from the soccer team in college. I started running cross country, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Right. One of my favorite things, and Basch Keegan this year is sponsoring, I think for the second year, I call it the after party. So what happens down there?
It's the Roundout Neighborhood Center is actually where it takes place. There's bagels, green bagels, green cream cheese, green Shamrock cookies, some beverages of both family style and adult style, which Keegan Ales
has proud to do that as well.
Has donated since. It's an interesting history, actually. Nat Collins, who had Woodstock Brewing Company back in its day, was always the beer sponsor. When they closed, Keegan's had bought the brewery, but weren't actually making beer here yet. But Tommy's father had the brewery down in Long Island.
Right.
And the first year they contacted me and said, can we bring some of our beer up? And the beer actually came from the brewery in Long Island the first year before they got open.
And Tom Keegan runs in his kilt every year, at least as far as I can recall. Do you run the race?
The first time I ran a race was probably 2 years ago with my daughters.
Okay.
Kaylin, who you know.
Right.
And we stopped at the Shamrock Tavern at mile 1 for some nourishment on the way down Broadway. And
That's funny.
It was a ton of fun.
Okay.
After working it all these years to actually be able to go out and enjoy it.
Yeah, I bet. That's good.
So I no longer am in the day-to-day pulling it off. I'm now, like you, I can go out and enjoy the day. So I'm still the major sponsor, but no longer involved in the organization of it.
Okay, good. And just real fast before we wrap up, tell me a little bit about your business at Ryan and Ryan Insurance and what you do to help people.
So Ryan and Ryan Insurance is a Kingston, New York-based insurance agency, and I joke with people that we specialize in Kingston, New York.
Okay.
Majority of our revenue comes from within 15 miles of where you and I stand right here in Midtown Kingston. And we do about 55% of our business comes from business insurance, businesses like law offices, medical offices, restaurants. About 15% of our revenue comes from the employee benefits of those organizations.
Okay.
And then about 35% of our revenue comes from home and auto and personal umbrella.
And how long have you been in business?
My father started in 1958, so this is 62 years.
Oh, so it's a family-owned business going back that far. So you took it over from your dad, or?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. And my dad worked with my dad. I had the privilege of working with my dad for about 8 years, and then he got sick, and I took it over from him.
Gotcha.
And it's been a fun, rewarding ride since. And,
yeah, I bet. So. You're a good man. You always make people smile. You've done a tremendous. I know through my wife that you did tremendous work for the Benedictine Health Foundation, and our community's fortunate to have somebody like you. You're a good role model. I don't know you as well as I'd like to, but I look up to you, so glad to have you here. All right, great. Well, again, I thank you for being here. Now, Basch Keegan, we're sponsoring the Shamrock Run again. Historically, we would get on the shirt. This year, we wanted to double down. We sponsored again, and we have some, what do we call these things here?
Reflective gear.
Reflective gear for our runners. And we're going to give these away downtown. So safety gear for people who bike, run, walk outside. It's unfortunate. You probably see it as an insurance rep, but every spring and summer, we get these horrific calls from people who've been struck by vehicles as pedestrians or cyclists, and oftentimes, in some of the worst cases we're seeing, the injuries are really catastrophic. You know, the odds are not the same as if you're a car versus car accident. Right. So if you're unprotected with no seatbelt, no steel cage around you, those are terrible outcomes. We think that a lot of accidents could be avoided if people were wearing reflective gear, proper equipment, bright clothes. So we're going to be giving away these hats downtown. There you go. I like that. Good sport. I think you have these snap-on things here that you can put around your arm or wrist. These are really cool. Frank just showed me these this morning. So they have Basch and Keegan's logo on them. And looks like you can put these triangular shapes on your backpack, some on your shoelaces. And then this piece here goes on the zipper of your jacket, so we're going to be giving that stuff away, and we're excited about it. And I think we're going to order a lot of this stuff and put it in the office.
That's great. That's great. And this year's Shamrock Run shirt, for those who have seen it, is a darker color than every year in the past. So this is a great.
Oh, is that right? Last year it was like a bright green like this. Yep. Yeah, those are a lot of fun to get. Their kids love them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys run out of the mediums and kid sizes every year.
Yeah, but it's that's one of the great things about the Shamrock Run too, has been the way they've done it to get the kids out. They give a trophy every year to the school that has the most kids registered and running.
Is that right?
One other thing that they do that Tommy Keegan has done is that when you finish the Shamrock Run, the first person to get back to the Roundup Neighborhood Center, the first male and the first female, get a free glass of beer a day at Keegan's for a year.
It's a lot of fun down there. You always see everybody, a lot of familiar faces. You share a beer or two. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.